What's up all you TikTok e-boys? Welcome back to my second video on the Juno YouTube channel. So I actually saw in the last one, I didn't get that much engagement, but it was pretty cool to post my first commentary. I learned a few things such that I need to work on my surf. So thank you guys for reminding me about that, even though I don't think I got any comments, but still, it's good to talk to no one, right? You gotta clear your mind. There was a lot of news that went on just a couple of days ago, and obviously a lot of people covered it, but as I'm a programmer and I do a lot of work in Xcode and I do a lot of work on apps, I sort of wanted to give my insight on the whole TikTok situation. So just the other day, a programmer posted to his page that TikTok is actually taking a lot more from you than you think. And I actually posted to my Twitter, TikTok US is holding all data on you, and they have binary execution AIs that prevent you from doing anything about it. They know your phone's RAM, the size of your screen, the ads you see in the YouTube videos you watch, the IP, your voice, your face, etc. And then I put hashtag privacy matters. So I'm going to run through a list of things that the guy actually said in his posts so I can sort of give my insight and let you guys know my opinion on what TikTok is holding and if it's okay for them to do. So the first thing I actually saw was that he posted this, so I can personally weigh in on this. I reverse engineered the app, and I feel confident in stating that I have a very strong understanding for how the app operates, or at least operated as of a few months ago. So TikTok is a data collection service that is thinly veiled as a social network. There's an API to get information on you, your contacts, or your device while they're using it. So one thing I want to let you guys know is that when you have a company that basically just chooses for you what you want to watch, usually not only does that increase engagement, not only does that increase usage, it's addicting too, and it also generates them a lot of income because of ads. So they will collect your data even if you don't think they are, or if you think that the social media can work without that sort of algorithm. And the truth is that it can't. There's sites like Google that actually have to, because they've tested doing a normal business venture without using algorithms, and it sucked. Their site actually didn't do as well. Basically what an API is that it's like something you can sort of use to install and get, some sort of information or some extra set of preset information from something. So I use APIs in design all the time. We're all using them, we just don't know. Phone hardware, CPU type, number of cores, hardware IDS, screen dimensions, DPI, memory usage, disk space. So that doesn't always happen with just TikTok. I'm pretty sure that a lot of apps do that. There's a lot of game apps that do that. They want to know what you're using and they want to help sort of make it easier for you to play on your phone. You'd be surprised for how much stuff these apps are actually setting about you. It's something that Apple actually allows too. Other apps you have installed, I've seen even some I've deleted show up in their analytics payload, maybe using as cached value. And I think that's okay for them to see what other apps you've installed, because it sort of lets you know, again, it's like sort of one of those, it's like an algorithm. It basically just lets them know what you're into. Everything network related, IP, local IP, router, MAC, your MAC, Wi-Fi access point name. So I think that's also okay. You kind of need to know that. I'm pretty sure every single website that's run with a LAMP or a LAMP stack, some sort of stack, REST API, all these sites that are published to the internet every single day, they all use your IP. They know your IP, and they'll be able to get your IP because you connect it to them. So the next one is whether or not you're rooted or jailbroken. You guys will actually be surprised. A lot of games do this too, so that you cannot cheat. And I know there's actually some games that will give you an error message if you try to jailbreak and use their game. And a lot of games do this because there was a point where someone jailbroke their phone and got millions of free coins in a game, I'm pretty sure, that cost money. It's sort of a big security issue. Some variants of the app had GPS pinging enabled at roughly once every 30 seconds. This is enabled by default if you ever location tag a post IRC. I think GPS pinging shouldn't be enabled, but it's just something that they use so that they can recommend you different ads based on your location. So if you've ever noticed when you leave the US and you try to use Netflix, you don't get the same movie choices. And I think that apps should do this, because if you're giving someone something in another country, it could mess with their currency, it could mess with their engagement, and they should all be individualized. So next one is they set up a local proxy server on your device for transcoding media, but that can be abused very easily as it is zero authentication. I actually don't understand what that is, and I've been on the internet for a while, but I do understand that there's some sites that have to do this. I don't think you should do this. This isn't really required for tracking people's information. The scariest part of all this is that much of the logging they're doing is remotely configurable, and unless you reverse every single one of their native libraries, that's actually what they code in. and where they basically use to preset information. Have fun reading all that assembly, assuming you can get past their customized fork and manually inspect every single obfuscated function. They have several different protections in place to prevent you from reversing or debugging the app as well. App behavior changes slightly if they know you're trying to figure out what they're doing. There's also a few snippets of code on the Android version that allows for the downloading of a remote zip file, unzipping it, and executing said binary. There's zero reason a mobile app would need this functionality, legitimately. And I actually do agree. I don't think that app behavior should change based on what you do. I think that if you wanted to see the files for a site, you should be able to, because I think Facebook's is even open source. They just have copyright. They have copyright rights that you cannot remake. You can't remake their site without getting some sort of legal action against you. So we went on to say, on top of all the above, they weren't even using HTTPS for the longest time. They leaked users' email addresses in their HTTP REST API, as well as their secondary emails used for password resets. Don't forget about users' real names and birthdays too. It was all publicly viewable a few months ago if you MITM'd the app. I think that a site should be using HTTPS because it's secure, and obviously if you're using HTTP, you're at bigger risk of infection. Your computer can get just completely destroyed. I don't think you should do transactions on that either. That's why their site does not have transactions. It's all ads. So again, I don't know if HTTP is bad, but I think I would recommend a secure method. As for their secondary emails and all that hacking that would happen with their real names and birthdays, that stuff needs to change. I think TikTok really has a big security issue. So they provide users with a taste of virality to entice them to stay in the platform. Your first TikTok post will likely garner quite a bit of likes, regardless of how good it is, assuming you get past the initial moderation queue, if that's still a thing. Most users end up chasing the dragon. Oh, there's also a ton of creepy old men who have direct access to children on the app, and I've personally seen and reported some really suspect stuff. 40 to 50-year-old men getting 8 to 10-year-old girls to do duets with them with sexually suggestive songs. These videos are posted publicly. TikTok has direct messaging functionality. So again, I think that the virality concept is seen in Instagram, Facebook, and all those different social medias. If you post for the first time, you will most likely, you'll get a delay on your likes. So you'll post and then you'll have to wait 5-10 minutes and then you'll start getting likes. Not only does this make the users stay in the app and wait, but it also makes them search other users and look at more ads. So that's another way to increase virality and sort of make TikTok more money. And assuming that you do get past that initial moderation queue, I think that actually is a thing still on TikTok, because you would sort of need to limit the amount of people that are seeing an image. If you go onto YouTube, the recommended page is basically what TikTok is doing with your posts to garner attention. And that's how YouTube makes you stay there too. So the thing about the men, I don't think that I think that's in pretty much every social media. I wouldn't be able to, unless we turn into freaking freelance sites where they block messages where they say like, communicate with me outside the app. I think that this stuff will never change and we can't really do much about it. Here's the thing though, they don't want you to know how much information they're collecting on you, and the security implications on all of that data in one place en masse are huge. They encrypt all of the analytics requests with an algorithm that changes with every update. At the very least, the keys change, just so you can't see what they're doing. They've also made it so you cannot use the app at all if you block communication to their analytics host off at the DNS level. So this is one thing that people do all the time on Instagram, or they do it on Snapchat too, is that you cannot screenshot images without alerting the user. So pretty much you'll be able to screenshot the user, but it'll keep it in a queue, and when you get back online, it'll let the user know that you did it when the queue was created. So this is something that actually a lot of sites do, but I wouldn't recommend TikTok do it as it's an app. I think it's a sharing app, right? So there's no reason that this stuff would have to be added. There's an algorithm that changes with every update. That's sort of sketch too. For what it's worth, I've reversed the Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, and Twitter apps. They don't collect anywhere near the same amount of data, and they sure as hell aren't outright trying to hide exactly what's being sent like TikTok is. So it's like comparing a cup of water to the ocean. They just don't compare. So my initial thoughts on all of this was that it's astonishing, and that I don't think any site should be tracking this much stuff on you. They do have some security issues, but of course they're not even based in the US, so we can't say much about this. That's pretty much my opinion. If you are new to this news and you didn't see this before, please leave a like on the video, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next Juno video.